Hello? Yes, it is. Hi, Leslie Ann. Do you hear my voice? Well, good morning. Soon to be good afternoon. And welcome. How many people watched the Apple event at 10 o'clock this morning? So, hopefully you are hearing me. If you're not hearing me, let me know. And now, the time we've all been waiting for. Will the music start over again? talk about the Apple event today in 2.5 minutes. Kurt, I'll be interested in getting your take on what was happening. One thing that didn't happen that we were expecting, because Apple removed all of their other people's branded sound listening devices from their Apple online and I guess their Apple stores. But they didn't announce any revolutionary Apple earphones or other things, except for, of course, the HomePod. So maybe that was all there was to it. Yep, we don't need to carry cameras anymore, unless we're doing long-range telephoto photography, and then there's some solutions for that. Yeah, the camera advancements are just amazing. We will talk about that more. Trying to refresh my iPhone here, and I guess it's not refreshing. Oh, there it goes. It's refreshing itself. Good. Well, welcome. Hi, welcome to GoFor Lunch on this Tuesday. Excuse me. I guess I didn't warm up my throat here enough. Let me clear it up. Okay, well, that was fun. Hi, welcome to GoFor Lunch, number 23. Big day today in the Apple world. At 10 o'clock today, Apple had their October event, and we're going to talk about what they announced that in a way that makes sense to you. So we definitely want to hear your questions. And hi, Barbara. So as we go by, I'll be checking for questions, and we will try to make this all relatable to what you're interested in, which is always my goal. So, in case you are new here, my name is Roger Harmon with GoFor Technology, where we teach you how to make your technology work for you. And remember, there are no stupid questions. You asking a question will help somebody else as well as yourself. So, don't be shy. Ask a question. So the Apple event ended about 45 minutes ago. And of course, I watched it live, as I am always doing whenever possible. I don't think I've missed more than one in my entire life. So what we're going to do here is we are going to look at some screenshots that I took during the live presentation, so that you don't have to look at my face all the time as we talk about this. So let's go look at that. Of course, this was an Apple presentation. And let's see if my little theory works here. So the first thing that they did, Okay, I have to get over here, I guess. So I'm trying something new here um, that I have never done. Oh, we don't want to do that. We want to make that full screen. So we want to move this over here. And we want to get this out of there. Okay, now let's see what happens. Okay, there we go. So the first thing that they announced was the HomePod Mini. HomePod Mini, and there it is. Um, Beautifully designed, of course, intended to fit into your decor, and sound very, very fine. Of course, it uses Siri, so it's your home assistant. You can talk to it, do everything that you can do pretty much on your phone with Siri. It has a really good sound, and that gives you a little bit of idea of its size. So it's not really big. Of course, it's now the little brother to the original HomePod, which was at least maybe 3 or 4 times that size in volume. So it's the HomePod for the rest of us. So it's going to be very interesting to see how developers maybe take advantage of the more mass market for the HomePod. But it's simply a speaker that listens to you and talks to you through Siri. So that will be interesting, and it comes in 2 colors. You can have any color you want as long as it's white or black. So this tells you some of the wonderful things that the HomePod does. It will recognize multiple voices, so different people in your house, when they talk to the HomePod, will get tailored responses to their information, like their calendar, for example. It's very private and secure, as is all of Apple's products. So what you talk to the HomePod about stays in your home. It doesn't go out to the internet like it does with Echo and Google Home. This was an interesting thing that they discussed, that when you go to the Home app on your iPhone, and all iPhones have the Home app, if you have a modern operating system, it will suggest different home accessories that will work with the HomePod. And you can pair them up for multiple rooms in your house. And it will also work as an intercom, so you can call people. It works very well with the iPhone. And you can put it in pairs, like in your living room. You could pair it. And it is quite the little device for $99. The next big announcement was that all of the new iPhones will feature the capability of operating on the 5G network. Now, originally I was going to talk in depth about 5G. I am going to do that next week. So if you have questions about 5G, how it's going to be available in our local area, come back next week and it will be revealed to you with lots of interesting facts, figures, and visual aids. So here's Tim. There, you can hardly see Tim there in the lower left-hand corner, talking about 5G. So one of the things that Verizon is doing, along with the other providers, which would be T-Mobile and AT&T, is by using what they call millimeter wave 5G. So there's 3 kinds of 5G. And we'll talk about all that next week. But the millimeter allows more people to be on the 5G networks at the same time. So it's good for places where there's a lot of people at the same time, like stadiums, public venues, and airports. So that's what this is, the CEO of Verizon there, the little tiny guy in the lower right. Then they introduced the new iPhone 12, and they come in 5 different colors. So that is kind of exciting. So this is kind of the entry-level iPhone. You notice it has 2 cameras, so a normal camera and a wide-angle camera. And the phones pretty much have all the same specs as far as the processor that makes them work, and the big differences are in the cameras. They all have 5G. So some of the things that stood out to me that I think might be important to you are durability. So they have even a stronger glass, so that the likelihood of the glass breaking when you accidentally drop it is much less because of the ceramic shield. So, and they're using a much denser microprocessor or chip. So it has 11.8 billion with a B transistors on it. So that means they can have much more going on at the same time. And of course, it helps with the computational photography and all the other features, because they have so many transistors that can be doing so many things at once. So they're leading the industry in the density of their microprocessor chips. So here is the close-up of the camera array on the iPhone 12. So you can see there's 2 lenses, a wide angle and a normal lens, a flash, and a microphone, it looks like. So I'm not certain that's a microphone. We'll have to do a little more research on that, but looks like a microphone grill. Okay, then there was some rumors out there about them bringing back MagSafe. So MagSafe was the little connector that connected to the power supply on your MacBooks. So if someone tripped over the power supply cord, the cord would disconnect because it was magnetically attached and not bring your valuable laptop tumbling to the floor. Unfortunately, that's not what they mean by MagSafe anymore. Now it is talking about accessories for your iPhone, and I didn't apparently get a picture of I think I just missed. I tried to take a picture here and they were too quick for me. So what MagSafe is it allows you to align things better with your phone. So when you put your phone on a wireless charger, it aligns, has a special magnet array here, so that it gets a precise fit to the wireless charger, so you get a good charge. But then they also have all these accessories that use the same magnet, and they have a little credit card holder, which is kind of interesting, that there's a magnet here and then they put a credit card right on top of it. So that'll be interesting to see how that works. But they have a whole array of cases that magnetically attach to your phone. Now, to me, that's a nice feature, because I am sometimes taking my case off of my phone to put it in a tripod mount or a iographer mount to do photography and video. So being able just to detach the case magnetically without having to peel it off the corners, and then the corners kind of are not as strong as they used to. Like I notice on my case for my iPhone 11 is kind of pops off the corner every once in a while. So that's the new MagSafe. So they didn't tell us a lot about all the accessories, but they showed a whole bunch of them. So stay tuned for that. And then, of course, they wanted to talk about the environmental things that they are doing. So here's Lisa, their Director of Environmental Affairs, standing on the roof of Apple's spaceship building at Apple Park in Cupertino, California, telling us that they have saved 2 million metric tons by the way that they manufacture things of carbon. And that's equivalent to cutting down the emissions from 450,000 cars per year. Then they went through this elaborate opening of Halliburton cases. You can see they opened one case, and then there was another case. They opened that case, and there was a third case. And inside that third case was the iPhone 12 mini. So how many of you out there in GoFor Lunch land like the small format of the SE, and you're hanging on to your original SE or iPhone 5 maybe because you like a small oh good, Diana. Because you like a small form factor. I know especially the ladies like these small phones because they fit in their pockets better than the gigantophones. So this is the iPhone 12 mini. So that's compared to an iPhone 8. So as you can see, the screen is bigger than an iPhone 8, but the phone is smaller. Right, and it fits into your hands when you have small hands, like some people I know. So that's really interesting, actually. They have the iPhone SE, which a lot of people call the iPhone SE 2, but now they have the iPhone mini. So it's not as mini as some of the older phones, but it's as mini as you can get. And it's the smallest 5G phone in the world. So, not to mention thinnest and lightest. So, again, 5G is coming with every new iPhone 12. So here is what the iPhone mini can do. You can see it comes in 5 colors, just like the iPhone 12. It has an aluminum squared off design instead of the rounded design. And of course, the ceramic shield has a new, faster A14 processor. It has a greater battery life. Here's some of the MagSafe. There's the credit card attachment. And then these are cases that attach to the phone magnetically. And then this is a charger, a wireless charger that just snaps right to the phone. And so these are all the features here of the iPhone 12. So there's a 6.1 iPhone 12 and a 5.4 inch iPhone 12. And the mini starts at $699, and the iPhone 12 starts at $799. And they have the 4 colors. The new color there is on the right is the blue. Very nice, and they really done a nice job on anodizing the gold. So it's really a nice, pretty gold, and of course the space gray and the silver. So now we have the iPhone 12 in, let's see, are we in the iPhone? Maybe we're on the iPhone 12 Pro. Let's see where we are. Oh yeah, no. So this is the iPhone 12 Pro. So it has a 5.8 inch screen on the iPhone 12, 6.1 on the iPhone 12 Pro. And then, then there's the Max. So you see the I think this is comparing to last year maybe. Sorry, I'm not up on that. So anyway, the largest screen now is the iPhone 12 Max, which has a 6.7 inch screen. So it's good because for some of us that the letters are harder to read. That bigger screen lets you have bigger text without losing a lot of screen or real estate. I tend to use the telephoto lens a lot on my iPhone, and it used to be a 2 power optical zoom. Now it's a 2.5 power. So that helps a little bit more to get in close when you can't physically get close. Like at the zoo. You don't want to physically get close to those animals at the zoo. You want to stay right there behind the fence. And they've improved the optical image stabilization, so your handheld shots will be clear because they are compensating for movement. And it's a fairly fast lens, a f2.2, which means it'll do well in lower light. So here shows the 3 different lenses on the iPhone 12 Max. No, iPhone, I'm sorry, I'm getting confused. iPhone 12 Pro. Okay, so you have the ultra wide angle. I call this the normal lens, but they call it the wide angle, and then you have the telephoto. So you can see you have quite a range there. So when you're in real close, too close, you can use the wide angle. When you're not close enough, you've got the telephoto at your disposal. And as I said, the optical image stabilization is much better. HDR stands for high definition range, I think. And it just makes your videos and your still pictures, it's been there on the still pictures, but it makes the videos more vivid. The blacks are blacker, and the highlights and the low light areas of your image are become up a lot better. And yeah, the hat is optional. Don't know where that hat came from. And it's the first camera to record in Dolby Vision HDR. So that's more of a pro feature. And I think you're going to see a lot more pros using iPhones to film professional videos, feature films, commercials, because it is such an excellent camera, and it's small. They can deploy it in lots of interesting ways. And 60 frames per second, again, is higher quality. 4K is higher quality. And it has LiDAR. Now, a lot of people have said in the pundit community, what do we use LiDAR for? So they did take some time to mention why LiDAR is important. You may be asking yourself, what is LiDAR? Well, you know what radar is. So radar uses radio waves to measure things. LiDAR, as in light, uses light to measure things. So it sends out little pulses of light and then reads as they come back to the device and is able to measure things. And so that is the black circle here on the 3-lens array on the iPhone 12 Pro. And then, of course, this is the flash here. So one of the things they use LiDAR for is augmented reality. So you see those images, those bright colored images aren't really there. They are being placed there through augmented reality. But the practical use of LiDAR would be measuring a room, for example, or measuring an object. So you can do this now on modern iPhones, but it's going to be even more accurate. So basically what you do with your phone and an app, you have to have an app that's set up to do this, but there are some on the market already. So you just point your phone at the corners, and then it will make the measurements, and then after you pointed to all the corners, it draws you a floor plan. So that could be very helpful if you want to remodel things, or if you're in a business where you do estimates. you can give your client an estimate of what something's going to cost because you can measure it right there on the scene. And I'm sure there's companies that tie this right into an estimating software, so they can email a written estimate to somebody real time. So also LiDAR helps with faster autofocus, so that's something we can all use. So if we're in a fast moving situation, the focusing will be faster because that LiDAR is sending out those little light impulses and measuring them very quickly and adjusting the focus appropriately. So the autofocus is now 6 times faster, and that's especially nice in low light. You know, I see these restaurant pictures that people take, and you can hardly see the people because they didn't use flash, and there's a lot of times there's light in the background, and so this is going to help your restaurant photos. So you can take sharply focused pictures in low light because of LiDAR. So here we have the different features of the iPhone 12 Pro. So again, it has this new squared off design, which is reminiscent of the iPhone 5. Stainless steel all the way around, and the antennas, these little gaps here are for the antennas. So here's how the MagSafe works. It just looks like an Apple Watch charger. It just snaps right on and gets in the right place every time. And you can see a little better here the design of the case. They call the new color Pacific Blue. Oh, I see. They call it graphite now instead of space gray. And of course, it has 5G. It's waterproof up or down to 6 meters of depth for 30 minutes. It has even a nicer display, which again helps us when we're trying to read text. That'll be easier to read. And the Pro RAW is more of a professional feature for taking very high quality photos. This is what I want. I want a drone that I can snap my iPhone onto. They did a movie there that was done by a professional photographer, and they said it was shot completely on an iPhone. However, there was a drone shot, and the drone shot was looking straight down. This drone couldn't have done that drone shot. They would have had to fly it upside down and change the position of the camera. So I don't know how they got a drone shot from an iPhone looking straight down. But anyway, that's just me. I look at those little details. And this is a beautiful piece of art, don't you think? I actually missed what I was trying to take there. So here's the whole lineup. You have the iPhone SE, which is left over from last year, starting at $399. You still have the iPhone XR left over, starting at $499. You still have the iPhone 11 at $599. Then you have the iPhone 12 starting at $699, and the iPhone 12 Pro starting at $999. And the maximum amount of memory that you can get on I think on the 12 and the Pro is 512. I kind of thought they would have put 1 terabyte on the Pros, but they did not. So there's the so-called Apple Spaceship Campus in Cupertino, California, as we end our recap of the Apple event. Thanks for watching. So let me see what questions might have come in while I was talking and I couldn't see the questions. Okay. So let's see. Bob mentioned that Tim saw the, well, let's see, let's just change the camera here. There we go. Let's put Bob back up there. Tim said that 5G will be in all the 12s. That's right. Do you take that to mean 5G? Okay, so here's something that's a very good question, Bob. We're going to talk about that next week. So just so you know, there's 3 kinds of 5G, not to mention that it's confusing. So high dynamic range, thanks. I can never remember that. And Kurt mentioned that the 6.1 inch is the same on the current phones. Right. 6.7 is the new max size. Thanks for clarifying that. And Barbara found this to be very interesting. And then Diana, so is that indent for the antennas? Yeah, the one on the edge of the phone. So this one, let's see if we can get that to focus there. You see the band there? They don't have the band anymore, but it's the same idea. That is for the antennas because, the phones are, in the new ones are encased on the edges in stainless steel. Well, radio waves just don't go through stainless steel very well. So they have to have gaps for the antennas to send out and receive the radio waves. So Carolyn, yeah, you can watch it on YouTube, or Carolyn, you can just go to the Apple website and it'll be there front and center. Like it'll look a lot like it looks over here on my other monitor, which I have to re-log into it. So, but yeah, it's going to be everywhere. You can't miss it. But I think it's worth watching. The video production, which I always keep an eye on, was very good. Had a couple of people that were not looking into the camera like I think they should, but it went very fast. It was very fast paced, and everything was explained. They had a lot of different people explaining things, so they didn't just have 1 or 2 people. In fact, interesting that Greg Federighi, also known as Air Force One, was not there at all. So I don't know what's going on there. So Leslie Ann wants to know, are they sure the magnetic won't? Yeah. I would hope so. I mean, they put an Apple credit card in the little magnetic case that adheres to your new iPhone. So I'm assuming that they've tested it and it doesn't affect the credit card. But that's a very good question. So we'll just have to wait and find out. So, well, thank you for joining me. And again, next week we're going to talk about 5G because there's so much confusion about 5G. And I've got some maps that show you where 5G is in Tucson and which carriers have how much 5G. So we're going to clarify 5G, demystify 5G next week on GoFor Lunch. So thank you, Gene. I'm glad you enjoyed it. So, as always, have mask, will travel. I can come to you. I can also share your screen remotely, which works most of the time. So if you have any questions about this or anything else, you can always get a hold of me. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Tell your family and friends about this resource. We would like to see more people here so we can help more people. So I think that will kind of do it for us today. Again, enjoyed having you here. Look forward to seeing you and talking to you and emailing you in the coming week.